This is the AC36 TBX after removing the factory ground loops, removing the factory heater errors, replacing the faulty stock power transformer, which was emitting 120 hertz buzz, with a Mercury, and replacing the output transformer with a Mercury Haddon clone, and doing my JMI Plus mods to it. The amp is now done. Now, after doing all that, I then discovered that the first tube in the normal and brilliant chain, the first stage for those two channels, was microphonic. And I tried different tubes. It was not the tube. Turned out to be a mangled receptacle on one of the pins in that socket. The metal just was not making good contact with the tube pin. I tried to fix that with some tiny little tools. I was unable to. And while I suspect that was a pre-existing condition, it is possible that that happened while I had the amp here, that it was something that I did while putting a tube in. So I changed that socket out for the owner at no charge. It has a new Belton socket in there. And the Belton is a higher quality socket than the stock ones. It does sit a little bit higher off the board than the stock ones. And so you'll notice that tube sits a little bit higher than its neighbors, and that does not affect the sound or reliability at all in terms of its height. But it is a much higher quality socket, and all the microphonics are gone. So here's the playing video. You'll hear the normal and brilliant channels jumpered together, which gives a very beautiful full range sound, which is unique to the AC30. You'll hear the normal channel by itself. It's full, it's articulate without being bright. It's a great sounding and responding amp. You will hear at the highest gains part, especially on the neck pickup, there is some ghosting. That ghosting is a trade-off for the harmonic complexities of the amp for the cleans and semi-dirty stuff. And maybe someday I'll do a full video just on that subject, but if I start talking about it now, this spoken intro will be 30 minutes long. Suffice it to say, if you want the amp to sound beautiful for everything else, you pretty much have to live with some ghosting at higher gain stuff, but it's pretty cool. It's actually a character thing. It's unique to the AC30 and a couple of very early Marshalls. And then you hear the brilliant channel by itself. And I really tried to show that channel's response to playing dynamics. It really breaks up if you dig in, cleans up if you want it to. It really is a fun channel to play. And the clean sustain is just wonderful. And you almost get something I call clean feedback. If you've played a great AC30, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, I hope that you get a chance to, because it is fun. Real quick, the brilliant channel by itself, especially in comparison to the sound of the jumpered channels, is bass shy, but not anemic. A little bit mid-range forward without being nasal, and I would say crystalline rather than too bright. It doesn't do the nails on the blackboard thing unless you set it to, but it has a lot of high-end air there, and it sounds mid-rangey in comparison to the jumpered sound that you'll hear at the beginning. But in a band context, that's great. It says, hey, the bass and drums have everything below, say, 150 hertz. From 200 hertz to 2K, that's me. I've got that. That's my range. And that's where the amps really shine, and you'll see why people love them in band contexts. Always remember that what may sound ugly by itself can be perfect in a band, and what sounds beautiful in your bedroom by yourself can get lost on stage. And see Led Zeppelin, see Jimi Hendrix. The list of great examples of that go on and on. I know if you've been playing for a long time, you know this, but a surprising number of guitarists don't. And from hearing modeling amp presets, it drives me nuts that people are trying to sound like the entire band. And all these beautiful, beautiful, useless sounds out there. Anyway, I digress. Here's an AC30 for you.